Panama Chronicles. I'm back. Boy, since the last one, I have been so busy. We've been busy trying to settle into our new home or still being renovated home. We are now in our casita because the property we bought has both a main house and a small house. So we renovated the small house and we're living there while the main house is being renovated. And this is not about renovations because that's a whole nother story. This is about buying property in Panama. So a lot of people have asked me, can you buy property in Panama if you're not a resident? Yes, foreigners can buy property in Panama. In fact, they encourage it because, as I told you before, they're very expat friendly. So if you are looking to buy property in Panama and you are looking for something like a gated community, or you're gonna be in Coronado or Boquete or one of the very expat heavy areas, then this may not be for you. This is for mostly for people who are looking to buy and are not necessarily looking in those areas or looking for that kind of living. Because the first thing you have to know about buying property is that there are two different types of property. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's the only way I can explain it. So there are two ways to buy property. One is right of possession and the other one is titled property. So let me start with titled property because that's what we all know, right? Whether you're in Jamaica, you're in the USA, Canada, or whatever, you're used to buying property that has a title. And so you can transfer the title into your name to show ownership. Well, here in Panama, everything no go so, okay? You can buy titled property or you can buy what they call right of possession or ROP property. Let me explain ROP a little bit because it's kind of like capture land, all right? ROP property is property that has no title, and what you have is the right to possess it. And quick history, back when the Spanish left Panama, all the land belonged to the crown, and the people who had been living on lands forever, their family lived on the land, whatever, they were given the right to possess it. And what this meant was that basically they own it because they'd been living on it. And so right of possession, if you took possession of a piece of land, and this is a very simplified way of doing it, okay? And you could show that you had improved on it, you put a building on it, you've been maintaining it, cleaning it, whatever, then you're given the right to possess it after a number of years. And right of possession property has no title, but you can sell it, you can will it, all the things that you can do with titled property you can also do with right of possession. It's just that you don't have any title. Also, titled property, you pay taxes. Right of possession property, you don't pay property taxes because basically the land belongs to the crown, theoretically. And well, the crown can't tax itself. A lot of people who are selling property, if you're not buying in like a gated community or one of these really nice communities, then you may find yourself looking at what they call right of possession property. And yes, it is okay to buy it. We bought right of possession property. A lot of the people that we have met since we've been here have bought right of possession property. And you can actually then turn it into titled property. But it's an expensive and a long process. And that's why a lot of people don't even bother, right? However, word to the wise, if you are looking to buy property in Panama and it is not titled property, you must get a lawyer. And don't just pick one out of a phone book either. Have somebody who you know and trust give you a lawyer who will do the due diligence to make sure that the people who are selling you the property actually have the right of possession. Because there's a document that they have to file with the municipal and sometimes with the state to show that they have right of possession. And what can happen is, let's say three of us as sisters, we inherited this land from our parents who inherited from their parents, blah, 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 and so on. And I decide I'm going to sell it. Now, I know somebody in the municipal and I have my name on it. And I'm going to sell it to you. And you look at this document and my name is on it. And it says I have the right of possession. But without a lawyer actually doing the due diligence to be sure that my other two or three sisters or my brother or somebody else who actually does have claim on that property has agreed to sell it, you could find yourself having bought a property that somebody else comes back and claims. And with the right to claim it, you will lose that property. And so these are the two ways. So look at titled land, which of course we all know, or titled property, or you can buy right of possession. And again, we bought right of possession property. We had it properly checked out by a lawyer. In fact, the papers that they brought first, she said, no, this is not the correct papers. The daughter also has right of possession, and her name is not on this document. So she did what was necessary, got the daughter, and they all went down to the municipal, and she actually signed over the right of possession. So that's it in a nutshell. Can you buy property? Yes. Property is a lot cheaper than it is in the States and even in Jamaica. But be careful when you're buying possession that the history of the property that you're buying is sound. Get a lawyer who knows the area. So our lawyer was from this area that we bought in, and she knows the area, she knows the people in the community, she knows the property. She actually came to the property. She didn't just do it from her office. She came down to the property, spoke to the neighbors, all of that, to ensure that everything was on the up and up with the right of possession. By the way, I had mentioned before in another Panama Chronicle the difficulty of getting money into Panama to make your purchase of your land or your house or whatever property it is that you're planning to buy. Be sure to discuss this with your lawyer before you even engage the lawyer, because we ended up with a challenge where we trying to get the money here was a major challenge because our lawyer did not have an escrow account. So things like this you want to check out. The real estate company we were dealing with, which is a big one, said yes, they had an escrow account and that the money could be sent escrow there. And at the last minute, they decided that they weren't going to do that. So we ended up having to send money directly to the real estate company, their commission. We had to send another wire to the gentleman who was the real estate agent, and then send money to the lawyer so that she could now purchase the money, the check to pay the seller. It was a real rigmarole situation. So please take the time to discuss in great detail how the money is going to get here to pay for the property, where the money is going to be kept while everything is being done. And if it's right of possession property, by the way, it don't have to take, chances are not going to take you 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. I know people who have bought right of possession and within a few days have handed over the money and the transfer was done. So it's not the process that it is for title property, or even the process that it is in the States or in Jamaica, where it can take a month and in Jamaica up to 6 months to do. Now we're in the throes of building and renovation, and that is a story for another time. But until then, thank you for watching the Panama Chronicles, and I'll share some more with you soon.